Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is Unit 1, Lesson 6 on Languages of the World. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at some of the most unique, popular, and dynamic languages of the world today. Which ones have grown immensely over the years in terms of their native-speaking populations and other people who are willing to say that they're learning the language. Before we begin, please let me encourage you to open up the Google Doc for today's lesson and fill in your notes sections and answer any key concept questions that might appear. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we begin with content, let's think about these key questions. Why is language powerful in our society? How do you feel when you hear people speaking other languages in front of you? Do you remember your first words ever? If you think about these types of questions, you're already thinking about the medium upon which we communicate, which is language. Language is so important for so many different reasons, and it really defines many aspects of our culture. Think about this presentation right now. I'm talking to you in English, and most of you know English really well. But is there a benefit to learning other languages? What languages might be worth your while? And are there any other specific types of characteristics that you should keep in mind when learning those languages of today? Let's begin. Chinese is really popular. There's approximately 1.3 billion native Chinese speakers in the world. Keep in mind that contrary to popular belief, Chinese is not just exclusive to China, but there are many other people who are willing to say that they want to learn Chinese for many different reasons. Chinese is not only the most spoken language in the world, but 1 in 6 people in the world speak it today, Mandarin Chinese specifically. There are thousands of logograms and characters that come with Chinese. In fact, I'm willing to bet that you probably learned most about these characters or have seen some of these characters before. Many people associate Chinese to be the language of innovation and history. Innovation probably because of all the technology that comes from China, and history because Chinese history dates back to ancient times. Spanish is also really popular. Coming in at number 2, there's 460 million native Spanish speakers in the world. Once again, contrary to popular belief, it's not just exclusive to Spain and South America or Mexico, but many people are learning Spanish at alarming rates in a good way. Spanish is one of those languages that has truly opened up full continents and opportunities for many different people. There's different dialects of Spanish. For example, a person from a Latin American country might be speaking Spanish totally differently than somebody from Spain. And the main reason for that could be due to grammar rules or any type of conjugations when it comes to using certain types of words in certain types of contexts. Spanish is sometimes known to being easier to learn than other languages, but it should be known that there are still some things that might prove to be adversities to learning Spanish. However, it is known as the language of love too. Next is English. Coming in number 3, there's 379 million native English speakers. Once again, contrary to popular belief, more people are learning English than ever before, not just exclusive to North America or the British Isles. But English is known to have a remarkable success as a language, as being a lingua franca, or the language of business. Yes, English is known for having hard grammatical rules that one must follow. In fact, you might struggle as well with using grammar. Your English teachers might be on you guys about that. But rightfully so. Grammar is a key part of learning any language the right way. English is also known as the language of influence. When people come to the United States, for example, I'm sure it's highly encouraged that they learn the language. Even though there's no official language in the United States, there's truly benefits to learning English. English is also connotated with having a better quality of life. When you think about different types of advertising and different types of products that are used all around the world, there truly is a benefit to learning English. Coming in number 4 is Hindi. There's approximately 341 million native Hindi speakers around the world. More than just in India, Hindi has many unique connotations and characteristics. Although it started in India, it should be known that with the booming population of India, it's a growing language. There's different scripts of Hindi, and it's known for being one of the world's earliest languages, coming from the religion of Hinduism, from the Veda scripts. Even though many people are moving around the Indian subcontinent and spreading their influence, that might be why Hindi has become so popular. Next, coming in number 5 is Arabic. There's 315 million native speakers of Arabic in the world. Please keep in mind that Arabic is not just featured here in North Africa and in the Saudi Arabian Peninsula, but also in many other parts of the Middle East. In Arabic, there's many different types of dialects. For example, there's Standard Arabic, which is synonymously known for being in the Quran, and then there's Modern Arabic, which of course has its roots in younger generations, adding slang words and of course differentiating handwriting fundamentals in this way. When you think about it like this, a person who comes from Syria who's moved to the United States might speak Arabic a little bit differently than somebody who's still back there in Syria in the Middle East. Then there's Bengali. There's 228 million native Bengali speakers. You might be wondering, where in the world is this? This is near Bangladesh in the Indian subcontinent. Many people have to uproot and start moving to a new country in this particular region, experts say, because of aspects pertaining to climate change and war and ethnic differences between parties and factions in Bangladesh and in that region. So this has caused Bengali to spread throughout different pockets of the Indian subcontinent and Southeast Asia. It's a language on the rise for sure. Then there's Portuguese. There's approximately 220 million native Portuguese-speaking peoples. It is similar to Spanish, but there are many differences between Portuguese and Spanish. If you look at the map here, you'll see that there are different parts of the world that speak Portuguese predominantly. Of course, in Brazil, and of course also pockets of Africa. Portuguese is known for being the language of exploration, as traders and conquerors alike spread their influence to many pockets of the world. Like I said before, Brazil and South America has many Portuguese speakers, and of course pockets in Africa still speak Portuguese today. It's growing and expanding in importance. In fact, there's many people that I've met who say that they would love to learn Portuguese and or are learning it right now. And then coming at number 8 is Russian. There's approximately 153 million native Russian speakers in the world. Russian as a language might be on the rise for the following few reasons. Even though it has known to have inscrutable grammar and hard grammar rules, the Cyrillic script is iconic. You've probably seen Russian handwriting before. There's a lot of famous people who speak Russian, and it's really popular in modern culture. And think about it like this. How many times do you hear about Russia in the news? There's obviously a need there to learn the language of the people that we so often speak of. Coming at number 9 is Japanese. There's 128 million native speakers of Japanese. If you look at the handwriting script right here, you might notice some similarities or differences between Japanese and Chinese. Hiragana and katakana language is really important for the Japanese people to differentiate between different scripts of Japanese. And like I said before, there are differences, but also some similarities between Chinese characters and Japanese characters as well. Could a person living in Japan go over to China and have an easy time assimilating into the language? Of course, and maybe vice versa. However, there are definitely differences that stand in the way. People in the United States and Philippines, too, find the need to learn Japanese. I think also because it's a technology capital of the world, and it's an industrial capital of the world, too. There's also Landa. Of Western Punjabi region, right above India, there's approximately 118 million native speakers in this part of the world, and rising. It's an Indic language of the Western Punjabi region, like I stated, and it's a newly created language when the British basically left from their days of empire in India. And today, Landa is known for having Bollywood-style songs and pop culture mediums, and a lot of people in India are learning this language right now as we speak. Landa has actually knocked off some of the other languages that you might expect would be on this list of top 10 languages in the world today. In fact, that takes me to these final key concept questions. What languages are missing from this list that we didn't mention? I'm sure you know of a few that you thought would be on here. Why is culture so obsessed with slang as well? Is slang making language better or worse? And what does the future of language look like? And or what types of languages would you like to learn? I'm kind of curious. Please tell me. Anyway, no matter how you look at language, the fact is that it's always changing. And there's a need to learn different languages of our world, especially when we look at culture in a different type of way. Thank you very much for tuning in. And remember, you can replay any part of this presentation that you might need for detail or clarity. Good luck.